This is a presentation of DirecTV, exclusive home of the Red Zone channel, the Fantasy Zone, the Dan Patrick Show, 20 years of NFL Sunday Ticket, the Rich Eisen Show, and America's premier source for sports television.
We're going after Blair Witch. She's a runner. She's been on the loose for over 15 years. She's also never been seen, which makes her kind of tough to track down. That's why we're bringing out the big dog. It's time to let the big dog eat. Hey, Bra, see this lady? She's wanted for murder.
No, I'm sorry.
You let me know. I'll be here as long as it takes. Dogs on a witch hunt.
Hey, think what I'm thinking? Let's go.
Hey, happy Halloween, Brock Squad.
Come on, you have to have a costume, and first place gets free beef jerky for life outside.
Witch!
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple: C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you because I probably am.
Howard Collins, the box score.
Hello and welcome to the Box Score. I'm Brock in spooky Los Angeles, joined by the Danets out in scary New York. Yes, we're in full Halloween mode today. That opened. We want to give special thanks to Dono, our main man, who is owner and driver of that car. That's his everyday driver here to the studio, and of course he decorated the set. That is an actual proton accelerator back there. Can kill ghosts, the whole 9 yards. All right, McLovin, you went as Larry Brown today. Which Danette would you say was actually the most fired up for Halloween every year?
I think it's definitely me. I'm the only one who puts even 1% effort into the holiday. I'd say Paulie and Seton do nothing. Fritzy buys a store-bought mask, which is less than nothing. So I'm really the only one who acknowledges the holiday even exists.
Well, Fritzy, dressed as Michael Myers today, was in the killing mood and murdered any momentum the show had.
I have Tom Fears, Candy Maldonado, Mike Myers, Duffy Dyer, Jack Youngblood, Boo Weekly, Rick Helling, Adam Graves, Javon the Freak Curse, Cordell Slash Stewart, Apollo the Master of Disaster Creed, Killer Kowalski, I believe he was some kind of wrestler back in the day.
Webb Simpson.
The Undertaker, Webb Simpson's good. Mark Mask, I think it's pronounced Maskey in the Washington Post. Yeah. Galloping Ghost, Doomsday Defense, Monsters in the Midway, Purple People Eaters, Fearsome Foursome, Murderers Row, the New Jersey Devils, or you could have the Arizona State Sun Devils, or the Duke Blue Devils, the DePaul Blue Demons. That was just a little taste for fun we can have with sports names that are related to Halloween.
Woody, I wanted to throw.
What year is this? I've had to suffer through this list, as our listeners and viewers have, for many, many years. And I think Fritzy does it, and I actually don't know why he does it. He says he thinks it's cute, it's funny, and it entertains him. And like Apollo Creed, for the life of me, I don't know what that has to do with Halloween.
I found it amusing. Master of Disaster, I was thinking of scary, terrible terms and phrases, and that's what I was working on the train last night. And I'm not saying it's going to win any awards or medals, but I think
But we weren't talking about a winning award. Like I and Dan say, please, please don't do this. What do you think what we mean when we say
I don't know.
that?
I think it's like a little kid that you tell them, don't press the button, don't touch something. It just encourages me to do it.
But assuming you're not a little kid and you're like a 45-year-old man.
I like being a little kid. I'm assuming it means don't do it, but there's still wondering in the back of everyone's minds that he's probably going to do it.
No, I can assure you that there's not. Like I know you think that there might be.
Somehow he's still calling
I want to call Paulie out a little bit. The debate about whether to do the headlines actually went on for about 9 minutes, and usually you move on, and about 4 minutes in, I'm like, oh, this is getting old. Then about 8 minutes in, I'm like, oh, this is funny again. Then it got really funny.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to have a train wreck, you make sure it's a full one. You don't want
go
just like
all in,
a small
right.
little train wreck. You want a complete train wreck.
I could see it becoming a train wreck,
Yeah.
and then I was like, wow, isn't Paulie usually kibosh? Did you expect Paulie to try and put a kibosh on this whole debate?
Initially, I thought it was going to end more abruptly, but knowing Paulie, he's like, he always tries to find a way, and thankfully, to salvage anything before it becomes such a disaster where it's actually unentertaining to the listeners.
But Paulie's never going to put the kibosh on Ripping Fritzy.
Yeah,
that can go on for 3 hours.
Sure.
So that's the one misstep.
It's gone on
And I
for
gotta
12
admit,
years.
there is a 1% of my brain that does want to hear them. I'm sorry. I know it's a sadomasochistic.
I agree. There's probably 1% of our listeners and viewers that also wants to hear them and see.
Seton, give us an estimate. How many of these holiday name lists has Fritzy begged to read, and then had to defend?
How many years have you been on the show?
Yeah, I don't know how many years have we been doing the show.
12 years.
How many holidays are there, and how many years have we been on the show?
Christmas names.
Valentine's Day, Arbor Day.
Arbor Day, Kerry Wood.
Love
Tree
Arbor Day.
Rollins.
Love Arbor Day. Charles Oakley. There's millions of them. I love Arbor Day.
See ya.
That's the most
The
challenging.
Toronto Maple Leafs.
Wilbur Wood.
Well, understandably, DP gave Fritzy a hard time, but then Paulie prompted to give a story about DP that wins him the worst Halloween Neighbor of the Year award.
Yeah, Paul.
Remember the year you gave out signed 8x10 glosses of yourself
Yes.
at Halloween?
Yes.
How'd that go over? Because you said you have hundreds ready.
I did.
Because you're pretty well known in your neighborhood.
Yeah. Well, what I did is I just signed all of the pictures, and then I put them on a bench.
And you weren't there.
I just said, help yourself.
Honor system, one each.
Honor system. And they did. They honored it. Nobody took any of them.
No rogue kid took 8 and put them on eBay?
I don't think so. I think, I actually think that my wife went out and took like 10 of them just so I'd feel better that somebody did take the pictures. But I thought an 8x10 glossy when I was at ESPN, and it was a good year for my hair. Yes, Fritzy?
You couldn't tape like a little fun-sized Three Musketeer or a Snicker or a little Hershey bar or something, a Kit Kat to your picture?
Yeah, Paul.
The back row looks like Deliverance 2.
It's just so weak and lazy, and I'm borderline arrogant. I'm very disappointed I'm hoping he made that up, but I guess he didn't. To not have candy, to have pictures of yourself. That's what you're giving out to the kids. It's bad enough when and we talked about it earlier in the show with old grumpy men throwing coins in your bag and thinking that's an acceptable thing.
But
to
any
give to kids.
kid could get Twizzlers or a candy bar. You go to a house of a major American sportscasting legend.
Yeah, you have to really do some research to find out. I think candy still trumps. Unless it's like pictures of like naked women or something like that. I think kids don't want to.
You can't put a Kit Kat on eBay though, and you can put a photo of Dan on eBay.
Yeah, but he had just he was just talking about how his favorite neighbors or the people when he's trick or treating are those that give out the full size candy bars. So on one hand, you're hoping everyone else gives out full size candy bars, but it's okay when they come to your house.
By the way, implied in that, I got
the
the sense that Dan and his buddies would trash a house that gave out bad candy. He didn't go quite there, but I did sense a certain. Do you think Dan was a vandal?
A little bit of a troublemaker.
Actually, there's a couple on this staff.
Yeah, that's a given that these two, I guarantee, trashed a house or two.
Well, Seton, let me ask you.
Definitely did not.
Seton, if 12-year-old Patrick O'Connor, and if you saw those things, these autographed 8x10s out there, would you have gone back with a dozen eggs and just peppered his garage door?
Oh, I probably would have already gotten them the night before with the.
The statute of limitations is up. You can.
Yeah, those would have probably been thrown in the air all over the place and just watch them.
Well played, sir. Well, Ryan Tannehill on today was saying that he had no idea what his wife was going to offer to the kids tonight. This is a huge detail not to know. Paulie, what can the young chillins expect to get when they come to your house?
I'll tell you exactly what they're going to get. They're going to get a full bag of Skittles each. And that's because the nice people at Skittles sent each of the Danettes a huge, a backpack full of Skittles.
Gigantic backpack.
I used to like Skittles as a kid. I've kind of given them up, but I still think they're fantastic. And I have about 70 full packs of Skittles ready to go, as does each Danette. So the Pabst household is going to be humming tonight.
McLovin, what are you going to have tonight?
Brock, I live in Brooklyn. If you come knock on my door, first, I might tase you. That's going to be the first thing. I don't care what size you're. Yeah. First of all, they'll never get past my doorman. If they do, I'm calling 911.
How about you, Fritzy? What are you handing out?
We usually like to do the little mixed bag of Milky Ways, Three Musketeers, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. We may even go high-end and throw some of those expensive Hershey miniatures in there.
What's the
Crackles
ratio
and Good
of
Bars.
you eating them to you handing them out?
That's where the problem is. You know, by 8:30, 9 o'clock, you know, whether kids are going to show up after that or not, I kind of shut it down, and it's time to shut all the lights, and whatever we were going to give out becomes mine, and then you know, I have a bowl of goodies for the weekend, and you know, I'll take some of what the kids also get from trick-or-treating, convince them, you know, that there's certain, maybe they have an allergy to this type of snack.
You know, can only hope.
Yeah, and then you know, I'll encourage them to stay away from a lot of the things they worked very hard for hours trying to go door-to-door getting, to let them know it's probably best to give it to Dad and not eat any of it.
Seton, I know you go super big on Halloween. What are you handing out tonight?
We do lollipops and fake tattoos for the kids, like bats and spiders and stuff.
That's cool.
All the right messages you need to give to kids. Coming up, it is the Halloween edition of Who You Got. Stick around. EKG. EKP? EPK? I don't know. Something like that. It's authentic.
Fritzy is...
I am Michael Myers. I've returned from Haddon.
We're back at the box score. Guys, a major part of Halloween is embracing evil movie characters. Seton, who is your favorite Halloween movie character? Or horror flick?
Oh, man. Well, we were just talking about Halloween and Michael Myers. That scared the hell out of me as a kid. Even still to see that face, I'm like, ooh, I don't like it at all.
Very frightening. Well, we wanted to know who you guys would have if two of the titans of Halloween were to battle, so we're going to play Who You Got. We're going to start with Fritzy. Since you were Michael Myers this year, it's only sensible that we go to you on this one. Friday the 13th, Jason Voorhees versus Nightmare on Elm Street's Freddy Krueger. Who you got?
I'm going to go with Friday the 13th with Jason. The ones that talk very little, which I can't relate to, unfortunately, those are the scariest ones to me, that have like nothing to say, you know, and they've got a mask on, and they just kind of stand there in the bushes, and you don't know what they look like or what they sound like. That, I think, scares me a lot. With Freddy Krueger, you know, he's got the nails and everything, and he's scary looking, but at least, you know, you're seeing what's coming at you.
That being said, Freddy is a much more entertaining mass murderer.
Yes, he's
Jason
got some humor to
had
it.
almost no personality.
That is very true.
Well, McLovin, to you on this one. In a battle of the cross-dressing killers, Norman Bates versus Buffalo Bill. Who you got?
Those are two all-timers. I don't know, Fritzy, what would it sound like if Buffalo Bill was going to trash talk Norman Bates?
You keep showing up at the shower trying to scare women while they're bathing. Leave them alone. Are you about size 14?
It places the lotion in the basket, or it gets the hose. Put the lotion in the basket.
Yeah. Fritzy as Buffalo Bill is my answer.
The role is based on Fritzy.
Your dog's hurt real bad. All right, Paulie's up next. These two had methods to their madness. Hannibal Lecter versus Jigsaw from the Saw movies. Who do you got?
Hannibal Lecter, he's a thinking man's mass murderer. I mean, you really got to respect his culture, his style, his panache. Is that the way you
Knows
say
a good bottle of wine.
Yeah, he's a fantastic foodie.
You have no idea who Jigsaw
if
from
he didn't
Saw
kill,
movies is.
If he didn't kill all those people, he seemed like a fantastic gentleman to be around.
Oh, you want him at dinner as long as you're not the main
Murder
dish.
and cannibalism
Correct.
issues
If you
can
could,
be overlooked.
if you could ignore that for the 2 hours of dinner, seems like a great
I mean,
conversation.
anyone got better stories than Hannibal Lecter?
No,
Seriously.
I mean, even though, you know, if he could just tweak the story so at the end the person doesn't die, you'd never know the difference.
Fumbling fingers, Clarice in the back of cars, running all the way to the...
Buffalo Bill, 5'10", blonde hair, blue eyes. Where will it tickle you, Fritzy? Okay, and finally, Seton, a lightweight bout. It's Chucky versus Leprechaun. Who do you got?
Chucky all day, every day. Not even close.
That's
High
easy.
motor.
High motor, okay. Well played, guys. Stick around. We're getting nerdy and playing a dictionary game next. Oh, you're going to love this one, McLovin. Woo! All right, we're back here on the box score. If you're needing some help getting into the Halloween spirit, this ought to do the job. This is a young Todd Fritz dressed up as the Fonz. Even then, sun's out, guns out.
Oh, my.
Fritzy, how old are you in this picture?
Probably
19.
about 9 or so. Because I have a sister that's 7 years younger than me, so I'm thinking she was probably in the 2-3 ballpark. So I guess I was like 9 or 10, and I was off of Fonzarelli and proud of it.
Those were the days, my friends. Well, guys, I recently read on the back of a bag of candy corn that I stole from my boss's office that Halloween is over 100 years old, and just like anything that old, it needs a little updating. So we thought we'd be out in the forefront of introducing you to some terms, some Halloween terms that are as defined on UrbanDictionary.com. I will give you the definition of the word. You give me the word associated with that definition. All right, the first, it is row versus row. Here it is, the inaugural Halloween definition Spooktacular Challenge. Front row. The definition is vodka mixed with Mountain Dew. What is the Halloween word associated with that?
Oh. What is candy apple?
It was in the definition. It is actually voodoo. Voodoo is what we were looking for.
Oh.
All right. Back row, the definition is when one farts in a shower, closet, or small structure, trapping the smell whilst still inside. What is the Halloween word associated with that?
Halloween. Trick or treat. Smell my feet.
Jack-o'-lanterning, goblining.
Goblining.
Goblin.
I like it.
Okay, we're gonna say that's goblining when you do that.
That is a great guess. The actual answer is it's a coffin. It is a coffin as defined by Urban Dictionary.
Oh, okay. Trapped. I can.
Okay, front row. The definition is the person who tells you what you did last night because you were so drunk you don't remember. What is the spooky word associated with that?
Type of ghost situation?
Someone bringing you some bad news.
What is the Grim Reaper?
You are absolutely correct. It is the Grim Reaper.
Nice.
Well played, Paul Pat. Well done.
I've been hung over a few times.
All right, I'll just give you a clue on these last three. They're all movie titles. Back row, the definition is Xanax. What is the Halloween word associated with that?
Heaven. No.
Basically, you do a thing where you pretend to think.
Something calming.
I think this whole segment.
It's all
has a
movie
very-
titles?
Well, it's very Halloween themed since it died from almost the moment it started. But it's Xanax. Xanax.
How about rest in peace? It's supposed to calm you down. We're gonna say that's rest in peace.
Well, he brings it back from the dead. No, I'm sorry, it is actually called a tombstone. A tombstone.
I like rest in peace better.
All right. The front row, the definition is a human poo wrapped carefully in toilet paper and left behind the toilet for someone else to find. Finishing touches of an eye and a smile can be added with a magic marker.
That's got to be called a mummy, and if it's not, it should be renamed.
I'm gonna say, what is a jack-o'-lantern?
Well, I'm giving it to Seton. It is absolutely a mummy. Very, very well done.
I'm gonna try that later. That sounds like
Leave a mummy.
that sounds like fun. Scare the children.
All right,
What
back
the heck
row.
is
This
that back
is for you, Fritzy. The definition is when your nipples harden and their outline can be seen through your shirt. What is the Halloween word?
Ooh. I should know this.
I want nothing to do with this segment. I want somehow to CGI me out of this entire segment, if that's possible. Live CGI.
I feel like we can figure this
Come on, let's figure this out. This is fun.
It is a movie title also. Very popular movie.
It's not a pumpkin blumpkin. That's something else. What's nipple related? I'm trying to think of a nice Urban Dictionary.
It's called The Shining.
Is it The Shining? I'm gonna go with that. It's The Shining.
That is a great guess. The actual word associated with that is gremlins. They are gremlins.
Danny's not here, Mrs. Torrance.
The winning row of our Halloween definition Spooktacular Challenge is the front row. All right.
Nice.
Stick around. We are wrapping things up here at the haunted Box Score Saloon. Woo, Gremlins. Welcome back to the Box Score. Well, it's Halloween, it's Friday. We got a big weekend of football ahead. What can that mean? Oh, that must mean it's time for...
the Danette Football Night in America Challenge.
All right, this Sunday night's matchup is AFC North showdown between the Steelers and the Ravens, which means two former Super Bowl champion quarterbacks will be facing down each other. Who's going to throw more touchdowns this week is going to be Ben Roethlisberger or Joe Flacco. And for a bonus question, you give us how many touchdowns each one will throw. McLovin, you've been hyping this game all week. Who do you have in this challenge?
Wow, an actual football question for a football challenge? I just picked up Joe Flacco for my fantasy team because Cutler's on a bye. I'm going to say Ben Roethlisberger with 3.
Seton, who do you have?
I'm going to take Joe Flacco with 4.
Paulie.
Flacco 3-2 over Ben.
Ooh.
Fritzy.
I'm going to say Flacco throws for 3, and shockingly, Ben is only able to throw for 1 because the touchdowns he threw last week.
He used them all up. His arm was tired.
He didn't pace himself properly. 3-1 Flacco.
All right, I'm going to go.
Le'Veon Bell is going to get a rushing touchdown.
I'm going to say they tie. Ben and Joe tie at 2 throws apiece. Okay, that's enough of that chicanery. Fritzy, get us out of this thing. Who's on next week?
Tony Dungy of Football Night in America will join us in the Milford Man Cave. We're excited about that. Running back for the Philadelphia Eagles, LaShawn
What if
McCoy.
Tony's in studio and his phone still goes,
okay. See, Friday we're in a good mood. Got to do it. LaShawn McCoy after going up against J.J. Watt. Reggie Miller will join us. We may hear from Madison Bumgarner, MVP of the World Series of the 2014 Giants. We'll see about that one. And other surprises, as we like to say as well. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, everyone. Thanks for watching The Box. Or set your DVR or tune in weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern only on Audience Channel 239. Or catch a podcast available on iTunes or podcast1.com. Be safe out there, kids.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer. My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching The Box Score. Holy cow!
This was a presentation of DirecTV, exclusive home of the Red Zone channel, the Fantasy Zone, the Dan Patrick Show, 20 years of NFL Sunday Ticket, the Rich Eisen Show, and America's premier source for sports television.